listening to Deep Talk on KCMO, Talk Radio 710, and now 103.7 FM. So I've been thinking a lot about my birthday coming up, and as you may or may not know, I'm turning 30. And I don't know, the past few weeks, every single standout memory from my late teens and onwards have been just floating around in my conscious mind. It truly is amazing how fast time flies, and I was really struck by how much I have transformed in these 30 years. I mean, I know people that are 60 that have been exactly the same for the past 60 years. And it really is a blessing to be in my line of work, transforming people's lives, all aspects of their lives. And because there's no way I could be doing the work that I do without the support of the people around me who have mentored me, coached me, therapied me. And I know one thing, that in order to get from where you are to where you want to be, you can't do it alone. We don't live in a bubble, and you can't do it alone. So if you remember last week, I talked to best-selling author and relationship expert John Gray, the author of Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. And one of the things he said was that, as human beings, we operate as if we were living in a bubble. And understandably so, because in our society, strength is determined by you figuring it out on your own and not asking for help. And that's lame, because as I had said last week, we don't operate alone. We are very much interdependent on each other. So this is exactly why I created my coaching program, The Source of Your Success, because I was coming across so many female entrepreneurs that, although they were busting their behind in making ends meet and doing pretty well for themselves, they never quite felt worthy enough of reaching the next level of success. And to add to this, there's a huge difference between self-esteem and self-worth. And when I was asked to define for me what the difference was, I realized that I had always had very high self-esteem. I could walk into a room and own it and not worry about what anyone was thinking. And rightfully so, because self-esteem is something that is externally driven. So, okay, I have 2 masters. I went to an Ivy League school. I started my own business. I became a certified coach. I have my own radio show. My book is coming out in July. All of these things contribute to my high self-esteem. But when you look at self-worth, that's something that has nothing to do with your accomplishments. I once had a therapist really have me see the true definition of worth. She took out a $10 bill and asked me, what is this worth? Obviously, it's worth $10. And then she crumpled it up, she threw it on the ground, tossed it around, and then uncrumpled it and asked me, how much is this worth? And of course, yes, its worth was still $10. So I got it at that moment, but self-worth is a conversation that only you can have with you, and it has nothing to do with any sort of degree, balance in a bank account, awards, accolades, acknowledgments, nothing. Your worth stays the same regardless of what you do, what you don't do, and how you do it. And if that's the case, then at the end of the day, you are the source of your success. So don't wait. Go to www.sourceofyoursuccess.com, and you can sign up to get more information about my new coaching program, which I'm so excited about. So we're going to take a break. When I get back, we're going to be talking to my fabulous, beautiful coach, Susie Carter, and her story going from bootstrap to big time. And she has a way to do that, really, to go from bootstrap to big time. And she's been kind enough to share it with all of you, so you don't want to miss out, okay? So you're listening to Deep Talk on KCMO, Talk Radio 710, and now 103.7 FM.
KCMO, Talk Radio 710, and now on FM at 103.7. If your biggest problem with Sean Hannity was getting him at work, there's no more excuse.
They were able to get their friends in the media to ignore the truth about their candidate and pretty much keep him from ever expressing his real views. And he was really good at reading a teleprompter speech that other people would write for him.
The Sean Hannity Show, weekdays 2 to 5 on KCMO Talk Radio 710 and now 103.7 FM. Get connected and get it right. KCMO Talk Radio 710 and now 103.7 FM.
You own or operate a business. You know you need to advertise, but you have questions. You aren't sure where to turn. There's a free resource that can help. CumulusRadio.com. CumulusRadio.com has the answers that will help you decide where to advertise, what to say, and how to say it. This free resource has helped thousands of business owners and operators make the right choices, and it can help you find your answers too. CumulusRadio.com. You know your business. We know marketing. CumulusRadio.com.
Hey there, you've reached Claire. Leave me a message.
Claire, it's Ann. Hey, you know that hormone balancing product we talked about before? The all-natural one, Amberen? Well, I gotta tell you this. Not only did Amberen stop my hot flashes, but since I started the Amberen program, I have lost so much weight. Seriously, even my belly fat, it's gone. I haven't been this thin in years. I feel great. Give me a call.
The leading cause of weight gain in women over 40 is hormonal imbalance. Until you balance your hormones, it can be practically impossible to lose weight. Amberen restores hormonal balance naturally, so the weight can just fall off. Yes, even that stubborn belly fat. Plus, Amberen eliminates other symptoms of hormonal aging too. So with your hormones in balance, you can feel great and finally lose the weight. Be one of the first 50 callers right now, and they'll send you a complimentary risk-free trial with a 30-day supply, free. Call 1-800-932-3468. That's 1-800-932-3468. 1-800-932-3468.
Quietus contains homeopathic ingredients traditionally used to provide relief.
Do you have constant ringing in your ears? Does it drive you crazy? Maybe you hear that buzzing and it drowns out what other people are saying? It's impossible to focus. That ringing is the last thing you hear before you go to sleep. Let me guess. You're hearing that ringing right now. Millions of people suffer from tinnitus, that constant ringing in the ear. Now, there's relief. It's called Quietus. Thousands of people have used Quietus to stop ringing in the ear, to stop that hissing sound. You'll love it. You won't have to ask people to repeat themselves. You won't have to sleep with loud fans. Finally, you'll be able to enjoy some peace and quiet. If you're suffering from tinnitus, I urge you to try Quietus.
Call right now for your risk-free trial of Quietus at 1-800-860-8518. That's 1-800-860-8518. Stop the ringing now. 1-800-860-8518. That's 1-800-860-8518.
Did I really retire? Did I really do this? Am I really a retired person?
This is Nadine Peterson on her first day of retirement.
I thought I would be very sad about it, but I wasn't sad at all. I know I'm classified as a senior citizen, but I don't feel like a senior citizen. Retirement is just another phase in life, okay? Most people today live to work, and it shouldn't be like that. We should work to live. And now I can live.
This is day one, the first of over 6,000 days most of us will enjoy in retirement. At Prudential, we create retirement solutions and partner with financial professionals everywhere to make sure you're ready for every one of them. Prudential, bring your challenges. Contact your financial professional today to learn more. Prudential Financial Incorporated, Newark, New Jersey.
Hey, it's freezing back here. Ugh.
Yeah, close the window.
Yeah, no.
Why?
Ugh.
Sorry.
Oh, girl, what you need is Digestive Advantage Gas Defense.
It's a supplement.
Digestive Advantage from Schiff. Its dual-action formula acts quickly to stop gas before it starts when taken with a meal.
I take it every day.
It's good for you.
And with continued use, the healthy probiotic gives you long-term digestive support.
Road trip, and we won't need a convertible.
Works now and later. That's the Digestive Advantage.
When you need to know what you're talking about, KCMO Talk Radio 710 and now 103.7 FM.
Hey guys, I'm back and you're listening to Deep Talk on KCMO Talk Radio 710 AM and also 103.7 FM. So today I'm going to be talking, and it's not interviewing because I talk to my guest almost a few times a week. I actually stalk her a few times a week. And, she's not just a phenomenal human being and force to reckon with in the world. I mean, all of that she already is. But to me, she's my beautiful, kind, and smart as hell coach, Susie Carter. She's been through so much in her life. And what makes her so special, not just to me, but in the world, is that even when she was in her valleys, even when she was in the depth of her darkness, she held on to that inner strength that we all have. And not all of us tap into it, but we all have it. And Susie grabbed a hold of that and literally pulled herself up. And it's that kind of strength and determination that had her go from bootstrap to big time. And it was in her book, Bootstrap to Big Time, that Susie shares so much of her journey from starting her business literally at the kitchen table to selling it in a multi-million-dollar deal. And that didn't happen overnight. And many lessons were to be learned. And trust me, Susie has learned her lessons. And her gift to all of us today is to share those lessons. So thank you so much, Susie, for being on the show today.
You are welcome. Thank you for having me on the show today. I'm excited to be here, excited to contribute to you. You know, they say behind every great coach is another great coach. So I'm proud that I'm able to coach you in your business and your life to help you achieve what you're achieving.
I love you so much.
Thank you.
So, you know, when people meet you and they hear you speak, I don't think it ever crosses their mind, man, I'm sure she's had a rough journey, because when people meet you, I mean, you're absolutely fabulous. Everything about you from the head to toe is just absolutely fabulous. So I don't know if it really crosses people's mind. Yeah, she must have had a rough journey, but I need you to share with my listeners, because Deep Talk is all about taking ownership and responsibility for how your life goes. I need you to share just where you came from and how you got here.
Well, like you said, it has been a journey, and a journey of bloody knees and bloody elbows and life lessons. Unlike you, I don't have a formal education. My education is a school of hard knocks. I came from a family of 11. There was 9 kids: Bobby, Ronnie, Stevie, Terry, Joni, Shelley, Susie, Kelly, Debbie. My dad was in the military, and we were poor. We had no money. And my dad taught me early on, listen, you can have whatever you want, just work for it. And so he instilled a strong work ethic in each one of us. We had a 1,200-square-foot home, 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 6 girls, 3 boys, and 1 bathroom. That in itself, you learn time management.
Yeah.
Just really teaches you. So I really took that work ethic to heart and said, if I want to be something, I need to create something. And I didn't always know how to do that. I started out as a hairdresser. That was my vocation. It's what I could afford at the time to then go into the workforce, and was a very successful hairdresser. I made a 6-figure income standing behind the chair 3 days a week. And when I say 6-figure income, I'm talking about $250,000. Most hairdressers make less than $30,000 a year. And that was because I was a constant student. If I needed to learn how to manage my books, I went to an accounting class. If I needed to learn how to market, I went to a marketing class. If I needed to learn how to sell, I went to a sales class. I took every training imaginable. And then it dawned on me that most people in my industry weren't making any money, and that's a tragedy to me. So I started going out and teaching cluster classes on how to build a business. Wasn't getting paid for that, didn't want to be a speaker for that. I just wanted to help my industry and raise the level of professional in my industry. And then started a consulting practice, teaching high-end salons and spas how to build a business. I owned one of the top businesses in the country. We're the top 1% in the nation, top 10% in the world. And we earned that right by the dollars that we produced in that business. Then built a multi-million-dollar training company and sold that 5 years ago for several $1 million. And that was kind of our legacy play of building a business that you could sell. So it has been a journey. And my journey was, what do I need to learn today that I need to implement tomorrow? Because I was thrown in this business world, and my passion drove me. I just didn't know how to do it. So I started really looking at, how do I own a business versus own a job? And that's what Bootstrap to Big Time is all about, is every dollar that you bring in, you're reinvesting that into your business over and over and over again. But how do you get a business to pay for your lifestyle, to pay for a life that you love, to create something bigger than yourself? And it has not been easy. And I think the reason why most people fail in business, there's a statistic that says 90% of entrepreneurs are not profitable. And 72% of those entrepreneurs close their business in the first 3 years of business. I say they close their business because they signed a 3-year lease and said, woo, this is too hard, so I'm bailing out. Versus they failed. They just realized, wow, what did I get myself into? So I have been lucky enough, as you have, to find mentors, and I've invested a ton of money in mentors. You know, I didn't go to traditional school because I'm ADD, and I have no patience to sit in a classroom that has nothing to do with tomorrow. In my viewpoint, I want to learn today, and then, like I said earlier, implement it tomorrow, whether it's a marketing strategy, a financial strategy, an investment strategy. How do I learn it now? And that's just my ADD-ness. I got to learn it now, do it now, do it now. I can't sit still. Very much like somebody else I know on this call.
I don't know who you're talking about. Well, you know, I want to highlight something that you said. You said, if you wanted to learn how to keep your books, you went to, you took an accounting class. If you wanted to learn this, you went to that. And so this is before Google was around. I'm assuming.
Yeah. We didn't have Google. We had to look in the yellow pages. We had to go to the library.
So I just want to
I'm aging myself right now, but that definitely was it.
Well, I just want to say this to my listeners. Everything in this day and age is figure-outable. You can figure anything out. So when I hear people say, I'm stuck, I don't know how to do it, and my answer is Google it.
Right.
You can figure it out. Just Google it. There's an answer for everything. So in keeping with our topic today about getting from bootstrap to big time, I know that you're a woman of wisdom and wealth. So I'm excited that, you've put together for our listeners the 10 steps to financial freedom and abundance. So what's number one?
Well, when you look at your financial abundance, the first thing you need to look at is what's your goal? What do you want to create and generate? If you're an entrepreneur, you're in charge of your paycheck. And fortunately or unfortunately, the way that we think as entrepreneurs is what's left over is what I'll get paid. And what I know from that is there's never anything left over. So prosperity, financial wealth, that's something that you plan for. And not just this year, but I want you to look at 10 years, 20 years out. What's that look like? Because if you're playing out 20 years, you don't have an attachment to 20 years. So there's more freedom to create. You have an attachment to next year. You have an attachment to the year after that. So if we're looking at your goals and your dreams, I want you to play far enough ahead in your life so that you can really play big and go, wow, I want to build $1 million company, or I want to build a $500,000 company, or I want to build a 10 million, 20 million, whatever the number is. The numbers are relevant. What's relevant is what's financial abundance mean to you, and then work backwards. Okay, so it's important that you're clear before I start in the whole 10 steps, because your mind will go to the goal that you've set in place, whether you're actively working on it or passively working on it. Either way, actively or passively, consciously or unconsciously, you will get exactly what you expect that's happening in your mind. So that's just juicy to start out with.
Yeah. So So the first step is to create a plan. Be crystal clear about what your goal is. What does financial abundance mean to you?
Exactly.
So once you get really clear, once you create that goal for yourself, what's the second step?
Then you need to meet with a money manager, an accountant, a financial advisor, and I'm not talking someone who's going to sell you something. So there's financial advisors out there, and they're going to sell you a retirement plan, they're going to sell you insurance, they're going to sell you, and those things are important, but that's not the person I'm talking about. I'm talking about a financial planner, financial strategist, accountant that will be honest with you about where you are right now, what's your liabilities, what's your assets. If you don't have any of those, what's your debt? What's your debt ratio to income? So that you can find out the spot, I am here. Until you're honest with yourself, until you're really clear about this is where I'm at, whether that's destitute and you're like, I can't even look at it. You need to look at it so we can dig you out of the hole. Or if you're already in prosperity, then go, okay, so I'm already at prosperity. What does that look like? I remember being at a place, Vasavi, where I had accomplished so much that I didn't even know how to go to the next level because I couldn't even stretch my mind to that level. I was sitting at about $20 million going, well, where do you go from there? What's bigger? What's bigger? How do I leverage that? I don't know. So I had to find a financial coach that could coach me, help me strategize, help me look at it. And remember, I'm a poor girl. There was 11 of us. We were paycheck to paycheck. If we ran out of food before grocery time came, you didn't eat. There just wasn't food. So now I'm sitting inside this abundance, which can be just as crippling as having no money, because you're dealing with your self-worth, you're dealing with, do I deserve this? You're dealing with how do I manage it? You're dealing with how do I shelter it? What are the tax benefits? You have to have somebody on your team and your financial team that can realistically look at exactly where you're at and what are the strategies that you put in place and what to plan for. And creating a budget that's so crystal clear. Now, most people have a relationship with budget, which is lack, control. You're not the boss of me. That was mine, before I really started getting clear. But a budget allows you freedom, that you'll have X amount of dollars a month to spend on this or that, X amount of dollars a month you want to save. have some fun around it, and then start to look at how do I create more of that, more money, more revenue. The second thing, and I talked a little bit about it, is to make a commitment to pay yourself first. And what I mean by that is pay yourself first. If you're an entrepreneur and you're not taking money out of the business, pay yourself a paycheck just like you do any other staff member. I guarantee you, if you write that check, now not irresponsibly, if your business is only doing $100,000 annually, you can't write yourself a check for $10,000 annually. Realistically looking at, I need to write myself a paycheck and put yourself in the budget just like you do any other person. And inside that budget of paying yourself, pay yourself and take out a minimum of 10% and put it in your savings account. I save 50% of all my income goes into a savings account. There's not going to be Social Security when I'm older and ready to retire. I don't have any wealthy parents that are going to take care of me. I don't have a spouse that's rolling in dough that could take care of us when we get old. I don't have those things. I have me. I have my skill set. And I can go shopping and spend the other 50%, or I can get really clear that I want to sit back when I'm 60, I'm 70, and breathe and be able to do the things that I like to do, to travel, to take care of my kids, to have fun with my friends, to not worry about every dollar in, every dollar out. And that takes discipline and commitment right now. Now, I'm crazy because I save 50% of my income, but I'll show you why I save 50% of my income. When the economy crashed 4 years ago, so did my financial portfolio. I lost 80% of my wealth. 80% of my wealth gone overnight. I was heavily invested in real estate, and I had worked a lifetime and built my financial, what I thought, empire at that time. I thought I was safe. I thought I was taken care of. I thought I was set for life. I thought I'd never have to worry about money again. And then the market crashed. My portfolio that I thought was safe, gone. My real estate investments, gone overnight. So I am in hunker-down mode going, I need to rebuild myself. I need to rebuild my financial prosperity. And so that's my commitment. What's your commitment? And what are you going to do to take care of yourself in the future and your family?
Okay.
Easy.
So this is such juicy stuff. And I also know that it's hard for people to pay themselves. They don't even think about it. So far we're getting crystal clear. We're going to meet with someone who's going to support us, who's unattached, because like you said, if they're going to try to sell us stuff, it's going to get kind of sleazy. So, someone who's unattached.
Muddy.
Yes, muddy. And someone who wants to support you, help you create that budget, pay yourself first, a minimum of 10%. Minimum of 10%. And so what's next after that? I think we're on number 4 now.
Yeah, we want to create goals around your finances. How much do you personally want to make? And, Vasavi, we did this with you.
Yep.
We got a really clear budget together. We looked at how much money you needed to make. We looked at how much money your company needs to make. We put a full budget together. If you earn commission, what percentage of commission will you get? We have to really look at our roles. And if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a salesperson, an infopreneur, whatever you are, and if you're not an entrepreneur, the best thing to do if you work for somebody else is create a side business so you have those tax benefits. Be an entrepreneur. It's the best tax write-off ever, ethically and legally. So making sure that there's a strategy in place. But how much debt do you want to pay off? What's your goal around finances so that there's a tangible something that you're shooting for? It's incredibly important.
So this goal is different than the first goal that you said about creating a plan.
Correct.
Okay, so the
overarching goal is where are you at? What does your finances look like? Where do you want to be? This one is how do I make my money, and where is that money coming from, and how am I going to achieve that goal for that money?
Okay, so we've talked about creating a plan, the big juicy plan, meeting with someone who can support you, paying yourself first, really looking at the specific personal goals that you have. And when we get back, we're going to talk about the rest of the 5 steps to creating financial abundance and freedom. You're listening to Deep Talk on KCMO, Talk Radio 710, and now 103.7 FM. Don't go anywhere.
Get out of the routine and start your day with the KCMO Morning Show.
Missouri Representative Todd Akin, you know that he's running in the primary to take on Claire McCaskill. Here's what Obama said about him at the University of Iowa. You got one member of Congress compared these student loans to a stage 3 cancer of socialism. Here's what Akin said, quote, America has got the equivalent of stage 3 cancer of socialism because the federal government is tampering in all kinds of stuff it has no business tampering in.
Greg Knapp, mornings 5 to 9.
So that's a lot different than saying...
Fox News Radio, I'm Liz White. On the heels of his bank's $2 billion loss announced this week, J.P. Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon was asked whether regulatory laws were broken.
We've had audit, legal, risk, compliance, some of our best people looking at all of that. We know we were sloppy. We know we were stupid. We know there was bad judgment. We don't know if any of that's true yet.
Dimon on NBC's Meet the Press. Some lawmakers now calling for passage of the Volcker Rule, which would limit the amount of risky trades banks can make. 49 bodies found along a road through Monterrey, Mexico, thought to be casualties of a drug war.
The diced corpses in black plastic bags were dumped on a highway. Police reached the scene of carnage after a tip-off. The Gulf and Zetas drug cartels are fighting a titanic feud for control of the region.
Fox Radio's James Blears in Mexico City. The victims, 43 men and 6 women. Fox News, we report, you decide.
Your KCMO forecast from KCTV5.
Mostly cloudy with a 20% chance for a few isolated rain showers today. We could see some sun working in this afternoon with a high in the upper 60s. Clouds will be on the decrease tonight with temperatures falling through the 60s this evening. Then a big warm-up is on the way for the week ahead with highs in the 80s. Happy Mother's Day. I'm KCTV5 meteorologist Tom Walks.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, president of Quicken Loans. Today's interest rates are the lowest that we've seen in generations. The rate today on a 30-year fixed mortgage is an amazing 3.99%. APR 4.22%. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN. That's 800-QUICKEN. We'll help you keep more of that hard-earned money in your pocket where it belongs. Maybe that's why for the second year in a row, J.D. Power & Associates ranked Quicken Loans highest in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination in the United States. And here are just some of the many reasons why. We close many of our loans in 30 days or less, and we provide you with industry-leading online apps designed to guide you through the loan process with speed and ease. Again, today's rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage is an amazing 3.99%, APR 4.22%. So give us a call today at 800-QUICKEN. That's 800-QUICKEN, or visit us at QuickenLoans.com and find out for yourself why we're engineered to amaze.
For J.D. Power & Associates award information, visit jdpower.com. Call us for cost information. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? There's a tremendous price war among the major term life companies, and rates have dropped dramatically in the past few years. For example, for a man age 45 non-tobacco user, it's $1 million of coverage and $75 per month level rate for the next 10 years. Or a man age 50 non-tobacco user can obtain $500,000 of coverage for a monthly premium of only $110 per month, guaranteed not to change for the next 20 years. That's right, level rate guaranteed not to change for the next 20 years. If you're a smoker, we have great rates available for you as well. At Term Busters, we specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. If you're looking for new or replacement term life insurance, call today for a quote at 1-800-862-8376. That's 1-800-862-8376. You're probably paying more than you should. Call Term Busters at 1-800-862-8376 or visit our website at termbusters.net. Remember, 1-800-862-8376. Rates and availability may vary by state. Sample rate quotes based on preferred non-tobacco underwriting. Exam required to qualify.
Do you want to lose all your money? Well, I've got some bad news for you. The stock market is a rigged game, and it's rigged against you. What Wall Street doesn't want you to know is that there is a way you can protect and grow your wealth. The people using this approach didn't lose a penny when the market crashed in 2000 or 2008, and they won't lose a penny in the next crash. In fact, their money will continue to grow safely year in and year out, even when stocks, real estate, and other investments tumble. A free report detailing this savings program is now available. This free report shows how you can get guaranteed growth, safety, and wealth-building power without risking your retirement in the Wall Street casino. This is the best way to have a 100% secure retirement. It far outperforms any IRA or 401k. To get this free report, visit bankonyourself.com. That's bankonyourself.com. Bankonyourself.com.
KCMO Talk Radio 710. And now on FM at 103.7. The information you count on. Fox News 24/7 on KCMO.
Hey guys, we're back and you're listening to Deep Talk on KCMO Talk Radio 710 AM and 103.7 FM, and I'm your host, Vasavi. And we've just been talking to my fabulous and fierce guest and my beautiful coach, Susie Carter. And before the break, we'd been talking about the first 4 steps. Sorry, I had said 5. The first 4 steps to financial abundance. This is raw and uncut, straight from the expert's mouth. And, during the break, I was telling Susie, you really got to have a show on the radio about financial, advising people with money. And Susie, what did you say?
I said I'm not a financial advisor. This is just what I use in my life to build my wealth and what I've used with my clients to build their wealth, to help them gain financial prosperity. Just kind of the hard lessons that I've learned that went, okay, how do I do this systematically? Because naturally I'm a very creative individual, and so for me I need systems around me to help me stay focused and hit my goals and help my clients hit their goals. Because finances just gives you some freedom in life. It gives you choices in life. It gives you an opportunity to play bigger and do great things in the world. To me, that's what finances represent.
So the last step that we were just talking about before the break was really having your own personal financial goals. So what's the 5th step to financial abundance?
The 5th one is about investments. It's time to look at an investment strategy for you. What's right for you? Where do you need to start? I started my first retirement account, I think I was 25 years old. I couldn't put much money into it because I was a single mom with 2 little kids, but I put that little $100 in every single month and then increased it to $200 and $300 to start building my portfolio. And through the years have found some really good financial investment strategists that help me look at my portfolio every year, evaluate my portfolio every year, and make decisions about my portfolio every year. I'm personally empowered to make those decisions, but I want to get some coaching, some advice to really look at it. Please make sure that when you find a financial investor or someone that's managing a portfolio, that they really have their own personal track record. That's the first thing I ask when someone's trying to sell me something, sell me a fund. I'll say, what's your portfolio doing? Where are you at financially? And that shuts a lot of people down. And people who are confident, who have managed money and managed their own investments, they'll openly tell you how much that is.
That's really smart. So if you're going to be working with someone who's supposed to lead you, then they should know where they're taking you.
Right. What have you done? I've had people go, well, I'm in the rebuilding phase. Okay. Well, what did you do when you were at your high?
I was rebuilding. I was still rebuilding. Okay. I love that. So investment, and this is, really, truly, in the long term, it's about investing in yourself. That's what I hear you saying.
Exactly. For the future.
So what's the 6th step?
We really need to take a look at credit. We are such a fast food nation, instant gratification. I want it now. We have no discipline to wait as a culture. And I'm saying as an American culture. Mm-hmm. So we have to take a reality check of where your debt is and where your credit is. There's a difference between good debt and bad debt. Good debt is the debt that's making you money, like a house. A good debt is if you need to borrow money to create a product, sell that product, pay off your debt. That's good debt. Bad debt is your credit card debt that you spent $2,000 on and you have no idea what you bought with that $2,000. That's bad debt. So you need to evaluate your interest rates. You need to create a payback plan. You need to make a commitment to not buy anything else until that debt is paid off. And you need to cut up those credit cards if you don't have discipline. I don't have any credit. I don't have any debt. The debt I have, if I use my credit card, I'm paying it off the next month. And that mentality teaches you a discipline to go, do I really want that? And if I don't want that, or if I can't pay that off this month, then I don't deserve it. I don't need it. It's just my instant gratification. I'm trying to fill something inside me that I'm unhappy. I'm just trying to make myself feel good because I'm buying something sparkling.
I'm happy to say, Suze, that since we've been working together, I literally have not used my credit card for about 5 months. And if I don't have the cash, I don't buy it.
I know, and you've paid down your credit. I'm so proud of you.
By 75%. by 75%, because this is really all about spending money that you have, and don't spend money that
don't have,
or that you don't have. If you don't have it, oh well, wait.
Right, and then it gives you a sense of freedom. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I can walk into a store, be there for 3 hours, try on every single expensive dress, and walk out and not have bought a single thing, and I feel better doing that than walking out with bags of clothes.
Right.
I do. So.
Right, and once you start paying off that debt, it becomes a game. And the game is like, ooh, how fast can I pay this off?
Mm-hmm.
So there is a strategy about paying off debt. It doesn't have to take you 20 years. And in that, sometimes you might have to file bankruptcy. Bankruptcy is a strategy. We have so much shame, guilt around bankruptcy. Hey, I got a divorce when I was 27 years old. I had to file bankruptcy. Whatever, I learned from it, learned what to do differently. It was something I had to do as a single mom with 2 little kids. Okay. So I carried a lot of shame around for a lot of years, thinking I was bad or wrong, or no, just a strategy. Never got there again, but that taught me how never to be in debt again, because that was not a good feeling. Our next point is we need to really start looking at your future. And what would happen if you died? What would happen if your significant other died? What would happen if the assets that you have are frozen because you didn't prepare for that? And that's about creating a will. And most people, when they look at their finances, they don't think about creating a will.
Mm-hmm.
But a will allows your family members, the will allows the people around you who love you and adore you, for you to take care of them. A great example of this, my dad died. He had no will in place. And we were so tied up in probate. And he never managed his finances, that from his first marriage, he never changed his Social Security benefits to his existing wife. His first wife passed away. And his next wife didn't get any of his Social Security benefits because he never took the time to manage and change his records. Like, that's scary. All that's in a will, all that's addressed with someone who's managing that for you.
Okay, guys, we've talked about making investments, really having a plan for your debt, not spending money that you don't have. So, and also creating a will, because I don't think people really think about creating a will too often, huh?
No, it's something for old people.
Yes.
I mean, that's what we think about when we do it.
Yeah.
So it's not something for old people. If you have any kind of assets at all, or if you want anything to go to the people in your life and your heirs, you need to create it. It can be from LegalZoom. It can go to an attorney. They're not that expensive. And it's just something to prepare for your future. And when you have assets, it's imperative. I think about, if I died tomorrow and my kids don't know where that stuff is, they'd be in trouble. I have assets in several different places. They wouldn't know how to access that. And that would be money just because nobody knows how to access it if I didn't have a will.
So what's next after creating a will?
Well, the next thing you do is create a family budget. And so living within your means, analyze what you're spending every month, and making sure that you're not spending more than you're making. That kind of goes up into the debt conversation. But the family budget looks at everything that you're spending. And I want to make sure that we teach our children to create a budget. Don't just arbitrarily give your kids money. If you arbitrarily give money, they have no value for money. They don't understand the value of work ethic. The great thing that my dad did do was teach a strong work ethic and said, you can have whatever you want, just do your job and pay for it yourself. That made us, as a family, go, hey, I want a new bike. I'm going to go save $100 and get a new bike. Want new shoes. I'm going to save whatever dollars those were to get new shoes. So there's something that's said when you teach your family to live inside a budget. My kids are very clear how much it takes to run my household every month. So when they're asking for something, I'll say it's not in the budget. Or if it isn't, if they want to move something else out of the budget, if there's a play to go to or something that they want to do, great. Let's remove this from the budget and we can do that other thing in which you want to do. Our culture, the American culture, hush about money. Let's not talk about it. But if we don't talk about it, how do we learn? How do our kids learn? How does our family learn? Mm-hmm. It's imperative that everybody knows on the team. If you're married, your significant other, if you're kids, let everybody know what's the real number so that they have an appreciation for money and they don't have unrealistic expectations of what things cost. Because most kids are in denial. They just think parents are money bags and it just keeps flowing. They're not really taking into consideration what it costs to live in this country, what it costs to live the lifestyle that you live.
So definitely talking to your kids, I think, is a step that a lot of parents don't do that. They are hush-hush about it, and they just figure, okay, one day I'll talk to them about it. But what I hear you saying is start getting them involved from day one.
Day one, and let them know. I have a client that she spends $2,000 a month on groceries. Really? Why do you need $2,000 a month on groceries? She's a single mom with one kid. $2,000 a month. Really? What are you eating? Well, the thing was they weren't eating. They were throwing a lot of food away. But her mindset around food was if the refrigerator was full, she was being a good mom. And it wasn't until we did the budget that she realized, why am I buying so much food? And I'm like, exactly. That $2,000 a month went to $700 a month, and she saved the rest of it. So when you start to get your budget together, you get a really clear understanding of what am I really spending? Because what we think we're spending and what we're spending, two different things.
Okay. Wow. That's a deep story there.
Huge.
What's the next step?
Okay, the next step, once you have the basics handled, and the first steps are all about the basics, is now we need to diversify your investments. And this means when you have some cash left over, so you've paid your debt, you've bought a home, you've set your goals, you've created your will, you're on a budget, you've been disciplined. Now we need to look at how do I leverage my wealth. Charles Gibbons wrote a book, Wealth Without Risk, and he says you have to put 10 units of energy in to get 1 unit of result. Once you get the momentum going, you put 1 unit of energy in to get 10 units of the result. This is where this comes in. Now, you need to understand your threshold of investment. Are you a conservative investment? If you're younger and you're like Vasavi and you're only 30, which is great,
29.
you have a little bit more, not yet, but almost. You have a little bit more leeway because you have more years to save. I'm a little bit more mature than Vasavi, so I have less years to save. But I have a higher threshold. I'm okay with losing a certain amount of money, and I'm in the game for the long haul. So look at do you have a house? That's the primary investment in the United States. So we look at, do I have that covered? Then look at stocks. Look at other real estate. Look at opening a small business. Small businesses are phenomenal because we have good tax shelters in that. Even if you're working a full-time job, you want to look at what can I start? What kind of business can I start so that I can have that write-off and leverage that? The last point I want to talk about is creating an emergency fund. So once you have all the basics handled again, you want to put some cash aside for what I call that oops money. That's the stuff that either you have to have surgery or you have to have dental work done or something comes up with your kid or a family member needs help, that you have a cushion that. And I always look at emergency money as if you're lending it to somebody, you're probably never going to get it back.
Oh, yeah.
So being okay with, if I never get this money back, I'm okay with it versus you owe me $500, then you're freaking out because I owe you $500. Mm-hmm. But emergency fund is, your car breaks down and you had no idea and you got to pay $500, $1,000, whatever the number is, where it doesn't stress you out financially and you don't get yourself in such a bind because you can't breathe because this thing happened. There's a whole freedom in your life when you have that little bit of cushion that you can rely on that fund and know that that's there. It's called your safety net. And along the way, I want to make sure that through this whole process of building your financial wealth, you celebrate your wins. You make sure you're having fun. Because if you get so rigorous around the goal, you're not fun to be around. This whole conversation isn't fun because it feels like a big to-do. Not a big to-do. This is called the game of your life, and you're playing the game for your life. And it's time to take accountability and be responsible for who you've been around money, who you haven't been around money, but more importantly, who do you want to be around money? What's your relationship with it? What's your belief system around financial well-being? And again, whatever that is for you. My goals around money are different than Vasavi's. Vasavi's are different than yours. You get to choose the roadmap you want to follow. So those are my really little lessons about money and the things that I've learned the hard way, from having a lot to having none to rebuilding it. It's a journey. It's a process. You can't get attached to it, and you just got to just go with the flow.
You know what I love about your 10 steps to financial abundance, Susie, is that I know that you talk this and you also walk it. And I also love how when you're speaking about money, it's not just about what you're doing with money. It's really who you're being. What's the mindset? Like that I absolutely love that, because I remember when we talked about money, we had to work through some of my issues, my my own mindset around money, and because that's where everything starts.
Right.
So I think that's really awesome. And I want to thank you so much for being here today. And is there anything else you want to say to our listeners?
I want to say thank you. Thank you for the time. Go play big. You know, if you want some more information, you can visit us or email me at susie.carter@gmail.com. Would love to support you in your life, and just like I'm supporting Vasavi, you know, if you're up to anything in life, you got to have somebody supporting you. Anyone that's playing big in the world has a coach, whether that's me, whether that's Vasavi. She's a phenomenal program. Just take some action. You can't do it alone.
I just got to say this because this goes back to that financial manager piece. You know, guys, there are so many coaches out there. I mean, I don't know if you guys know this, but everywhere you go, people are calling themselves coaches. And the reason why I chose Susie is because I wanted to create what she had. I loved how she thought big. I loved how nothing stopped her, that her mindset was limitless, that anything was possible. And I said, you know what? I want to work with someone like that, because that way, when I start thinking that way, I'm going to have someone who's going to pave that path for me, as opposed to having me play small, because she's played big in her life, which is why I love working with you, Susie.
Thank you, and I am proud of you. I'm proud of what you're doing. I'm proud of your commitment to your listeners, your commitment to their prosperity and their growth. They're lucky to have you.
Thank you so much. And so I will see you soon. I'm going to see you in San Diego in a few months.
You are.
Okay, bye, Susie.
Bye, Vasavi.
Okay, guys, you're listening to Deep Talk on KCMO Talk Radio 710 and 103.7 FM. When we get back, we're going to wrap it up. We're going to do a little recap, and then I have some great news for you about next week's show. So don't go anywhere.
KCMO is Talk Radio 710, now on FM at 103.7. Weeknights at 8, a new home of the Laura Ingraham Show.
Oh, Ann Curry says, can you stop this? And he moves on to, well, we have redundant systems in place. What does that mean? It means you can't stop these attacks. That's disturbing. What can we conclude from this? That maybe it's time not to demoralize our CIA? I mean, thank goodness for the CIA.
Laura Ingraham, only on KCMO Talk Radio 710, and now 103.7 FM.
Hey there, you've reached Claire. Leave me a message.
Claire, it's Ann. Hey, you know that hormone balancing product we talked about before? The all-natural one, Amberen? Well, I gotta tell you this. Not only did Amberen stop my hot flashes, but since I started the Amberen program, I have lost so much weight. Seriously, even my belly fat, it's gone. I haven't been this thin in years. I feel great. Give me a call.
The leading cause of weight gain in women over 40 is hormonal imbalance. Until you balance your hormones, it can be practically impossible to lose weight. Amberen restores hormonal balance naturally, so the weight can just fall off. Yes, even that stubborn belly fat. Plus, Amberen eliminates other symptoms of hormonal aging too. So with your hormones in balance, you can feel great and finally lose the weight. Be one of the first 50 callers right now, and they'll send you a complimentary risk-free trial with a 30-day supply, free. Call 1-800-932-3468. That's 1-800-932-3468. 1-800-932-3468.
Quietus contains homeopathic ingredients traditionally used to provide relief.
Do you have constant ringing in your ears? Does it drive you crazy? Maybe you hear that buzzing and it drowns out what other people are saying. It's impossible to focus. That ringing is the last thing you hear before you go to sleep. Let me guess. You're hearing that ringing right now. Millions of people suffer from tinnitus, that constant ringing in the ear. Now, there's relief. It's called Quietus. Thousands of people have used Quietus to stop ringing in the ear, to stop that hissing sound. You'll love it. You won't have to ask people to repeat themselves. You won't have to sleep with loud fans. Finally, you'll be able to enjoy some peace and quiet. If you're suffering from tinnitus, I urge you to try Quietus.
Call right now for your risk-free trial of Quietus at 1-800-860-8518. That's 1-800-860-8518. Stop the ringing now. 1-800-860-8518. That's 1-800-860-8518.
Did I really retire? Did I really do this? Am I really a retired person?
This is Nadine Peterson on her first day of retirement.
I thought I would be very sad about it, but I wasn't sad at all. I know I'm classified as a senior citizen, but I don't feel like a senior citizen. Retirement is just another phase in life, okay? Most people today live to work, and it shouldn't be like that. we should work to live. And now I can live.
This is day one, the first of over 6,000 days most of us will enjoy in retirement. At Prudential, we create retirement solutions and partner with financial professionals everywhere to make sure you're ready for every one of them. Prudential, bring your challenges. Contact your financial professional today to learn more. Prudential Financial Incorporated, Newark, New Jersey.
KCMO, Talk Radio 710, and now on FM at 103.7, 103.7. Get connected to Kansas City's talk station, AM, FM, and online at KCMOTalkRadio.com.
It started with helping folks out with transportation around the holidays with Cars for Christmas. It's expanded to all year round with Cars for Heroes, honoring our men and women who've served in the military. If you have a car to donate or know of a vet in need of reliable transportation, go to cars4christmas.org and click on the Kansas City button. Let's help those who have given so much. Cars4christmas.org and click on the Kansas City button. It's Cars for Heroes.
Today's deal, play, bounce, and jump. 53% off. Go to sweetjack.com for family fun at play, bounce, and jump.
Sweet Jack, now that's a real sweet deal.
Sweetjack.com.
Greg Knapp.
Take the poll right now, KCMOTalkRadio.com. Do you think there's anything wrong with a mother nursing her child until he's 4 years old? A local woman does it, KCMOTalkRadio.com.
We're back, and you're listening to Deep Talk on KCMO Talk Radio 710 and now 103.7 FM. I want to thank my guest and my super fab coach, Susie Carter, for stopping by and pouring out her wisdom and her life lessons about money, something that makes people very uncomfortable, but you got to talk about it. And she is such a gift. I love her. And just to recap, she talked about the 10 steps to financial abundance. Number 1, create a goal, an overarching goal. What do you want your life to look like? Number 2, meet with a money manager, a financial advisor, not just someone not someone who's going to sell to you, but someone that's really there to support you and help you create that budget and what you need to do. Number 3, pay yourself first, at least a minimum of 10% of what you're making. Number 4, create your own personal financial goals, just on a day-to-day basis. Number 5, invest. You got to make some investments to see your money grow. Number 6, create a will. Number 7, really, as a family, create that budget for your family so you're teaching your kids lessons about money. Number 7, create that emergency fund. You never know what's going to happen, so you want to create that emergency fund. And lastly, you want to celebrate. Just celebrate everything that you've accomplished. And next week, wow, I am turning 30 on May 18th. I have my awesome guest, Don Miguel Ruiz, on Deep Talk. He's a New York Times bestselling author of The 4 Agreements. What I love about him is that he has the ability to take real complex human issues and turn them into simple common sense. So you don't want to miss next week's show. And third of all, my new program, which I'm super pumped about, is launching. So there's still time to join. I have limited spots available. So check out sourceofyoursuccess.com if you want to get more information. It's all about transforming your mindset and moving your business forward. You've been listening to Deep Talk with Vasavi on KCMO Talk Radio 710 and now 103.7 FM. I hope you have a great day, and remember, be kind to yourself.